Am I live? I should be live. If I'm not live, there's a problem. People deluded. I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. First things first, I apologize for being 4 minutes late. I was eating my lunch. I can't lie, man. Obviously, cooked it, ate it, ran over time. I took my time, man. It's a nice day. It's Friday. You know, I'm feeling myself a bit because I'm on 37,000 subscribers. Thank you very much to everyone who's been supporting the journey in whatever time duration you came on this thing and continuing to support the journey. Because obviously, without you guys, it can't get anywhere, and we wouldn't have 37 subscribers. That might 37,000 people again. Crazy to even say that. It might as well be 37 million to me. That's what it feels like, and I appreciate all the support, man, that all of you lot are putting in. And obviously shout out to the members and whatnot. Long story short, it's Q&A day, man. So yeah, thank you very much for your support. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and obviously good night according to wherever you guys are. I hope you're well and safe. As I said, I hope you've all had a week to remember. And yeah, man, let me crack on with some of the questions you guys came up with. Now, admittedly, I think I asked you guys these questions in bunches, but shout out to all the members who did hit the questions up. Obviously, members, if you've got any questions, just slap them in the tab. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people watching this. I kind of just make the live chat, obviously, for members because it makes it a bit more special for them and whatnot. So, members, along the way, if you feel you've got any questions, keep them going, man, until we're done here, obviously. Shout out to Kay as well for being locked in. And shout out to everybody watching. So yeah, let me share my screen with you guys. Let's go on with these questions, really and truly. Where's the share button? There we go. Zoom in a bit for you guys. Humbly zoom in. That just looks weird to have up there. So yeah, man. First question we've got here, John Doe. Shout out to you for asking the question, and one of my favorite supporters and someone that's been a supporter for a long time. Oh, shout out to you. You lot are out the blocks early. This was the second batch of questions I think I had. But what have we got here? What would have to happen for Arteta and Guendouzi's relationship to be mended? You think both can swallow their pride? Is Guendouzi even worth compromising for? Obviously, if you're not killing Mbappe and that, to answer your question in short, no, it's not. It is what it is. I think it would be worth it because whether he goes on to be a success or whatever, I'm sure all fans have this feeling around him of what if, like, there's a player in there. I think he's at the stage now where that player can come out and you can take inroads to making that player, or you're just going to float around and go from club to club and play for good clubs, have a good career. But there's going to be a case of what if you applied yourself. I personally think in relation to that relationship, John, the latest incident we heard that was the one that really made where it is what we're talking about. I think it was the straw that broke the camel's back. There probably was little rumblings going on with Guendouzi. Dare I say, he might have even been someone that was indirectly, you look at it and thinking, is he on any sort of list for Arteta going into the job? It's like you hear about what you was doing, how the sort of reputation you had, not necessarily to Emre, but around Emre. Maybe he's just nipped it in the bud, which is a shame because we've got a lot of young players. I think Guendouzi would tie in well, even in any capacity into the squad. He's a leader in that. I don't think it is. I think for him, it is what it is. I don't think anything can change unless a miracle can happen. I think it is what it is. He'll be sold on to whatever club he's going to. Marseille, the one he's frequently linked with. Arsenal will move on and he might go on to be a France international and whatever. But I think considering the club paid 7, 8, 9 million for him, they'll probably make a little profit. It is what it is. They'll just cut their ties, which, as I said, is a shame because there is ability there, but it is what it is. Keeping on the theme with Arteta, has Arteta's relationship with players like Saliba and Guendouzi hurt Arsenal's ability to tap into the French market? If I just answer at base level, I'd say, yeah. I mean, people, it is got to be something they speak about. I would probably say no, because we're still kind of out here. We've still, regardless of what's going on, we've still brought in Pepe. We're still probably going to sign players from the French league and things like that. So I would say no, ultimately, but I can't lie. I would say for young players, if you're looking at it, it's not really the Arsene Wenger thing right now. Yeah, there's a bunch of young players in the squad, but if you look at it purely on a minutes thing, minutes available to minutes played, I'm not too sure it's looking too strong for Martinelli, for Nelson, for Saliba, for even Gabriel, and you get the same trailer for. So I don't think it affects us in any way. Arsenal's still Arsenal, but to be devil's advocate, you have to imagine it plays some sort of part, man. I'd be really disappointed if Arteta sells him without speaking to Guendouzi first, seeing where he's at mentally. You'd think with Guendouzi, obviously now he's a father. You know, life, you know, I'm not a father, but for any of you that are parents out there, I'm pretty sure life must have been flipped on its head and you kind of mature and change in different ways. I think away from whether he's had a kid or not, absence could make the heart grow fonder. There's been times, say what you want about Guendouzi, we've needed that heart in the middle. For Guendouzi, I'm sure he sat there at times at Hertha Berlin and thought, what if at Arsenal, sort of thing. He just needed a clip around the ears and someone to just say, pattern up, just rein it in a bit. Because I don't think what he did against Brighton was it. You've heard there's several stories and there's been a problem. I'd be disappointed because of the feeling of what ifs, but I just think reality is there's bigger problems than Guendouzi at the club. There's other things to deal with. He's somewhat insignificant. They're probably just trying to keep it moving. So I would, you know, I definitely give him a chance ahead of El Nene and things, but El Nene is more consistent in what he offers. El Nene is probably less of a problem for Arteta. For Arteta, though, it does seem like the players that have a little chip on their shoulder, can answer back, and a bit opinionated and stuff like that, you seem to have a problem with the exception of a few, man. Shout out to Skyto, shout out to Jay as well for being locked in, and the rest of you guys. But interesting comments so far. John hit me back as well again. He said, I can't lie, DG, I'm starting to have serious doubts about Arteta, especially how he deals with our youngsters. By what metric, would you judge him on this season regarding their progression? Significantly better players. Now, what I mean by that is they don't need to turn around. I'm not expecting, you know, who could I say? I'm not expecting Balogun to become, you know, he's winning the Golden Boot and he's called up by England and he's the best striker in the world in 12 months. I'm not expecting that, for example. So let me get that disclaimer in. What I want to see and what I mean by significant improvement is I want to kind of see the plan, because we're told it's a young player thing and we do use Smith Rowe and Saka. Them two probably heavily inflate the youngster stats. When you look at a couple of our young players, whether they're good enough or not, there's too much baggage and storylines, and we're not actually always talking about are they good enough or not. You look at Nelson, Maitland, Matteo Guendouzi, Saliba at this point. I do think fans cry about young players a lot, and you know I don't need to spell it all out. You guys know I love young footballers in a footballing sense, and I like what they bring to the table. But you know you can't call for these young players then cry when they've had shaky games. But I want to see more clarity, man. If we're making, you know, he speaks about Martinelli, I can play across all those front positions, up front, left wing, right wing. Play the man in some. Give the man a run up front. You know, Balogun signed his new deal. He ain't made his Premier League debut. Again, I might be ignorant because I'm a fan, but I would have thought the minute he signed that deal, at least those last 8 or 10 games, he could have grabbed the 5 minutes, a 10, maybe even a start. Just seeing where he's at, for him, seeing what the Premier League's about, because the storyline's done now. Reality is, I love these young players, and I want Balogun to do a madness like all of them. But it's not about that anymore. You've signed the deal, you've progressed. You know, shout out to what he's done. He's progressed to the first team now. It's the big boy leagues now. What can he bring to the table? What sort of guy? Is he good enough or not? In short, you know, Eddie came in for a second. It was all love and glory and all the, you know, the hand signs and that. Are you good enough or not? But we don't know. He doesn't know. And I would have liked Balogun to go into the pre-season. He might have played same way Martinelli played against West Brom, and he kind of struggled through the middle. If Balogun plays in that, he's like, okay, cool. This is what the Premier League's about. I need to be on point with this. I need to improve at that. I'm good at this, but I need to keep going at that. Just seeing where you're at, and you know exactly what it is, because, you know, he's not been exposed to first team football. You know, you look at, fair enough, you know, shout out to him doing his thing in the Europa League, and with respect to Dundalk and them teams there, yeah, that's first team football, but let's be levels. There's a golfing class, man. Our under 23s could well, not based on last season, but our under 23s, they could play them 5 times. I back them to win at least twice. They'll lose the war, but they'll win the battles. So I just want to see what we're doing. You know, I want to see what we're doing, even with Saka and Smith Rowe. It can't be healthy over relying on them, and sometimes playing them when you can see they need a rest. And I'm not someone who cries about this rest thing, because I think fans are very picky with that. So a bit more clarity, man. If Saliba's staying and Gabriel's here, which more likely, get his partner in for the centre-half thing and let's develop him. We all know the deficiencies in Gabriel's game and what he needs to work on. In short, with these young players, just seeing the rough edges ironed out, seeing them kind of place a bit significantly or playing to the point where they can make significant progress. You know, a bit more clarity over what we're doing with them. Don't get it twisted. You know, as much as I think young players want to play and stuff, we got to remember the dynamic. We're not a daycare. We're trying to, I would hope Arsenal trying to win things, but we're trying to win games and we're trying to do things. It says, are you levels or not? That's why, you know, Saka's levels. Not everyone's Saka's, but Saka in that. But he's levels. He's good enough to help us get 3 points. The young player thing is kind of comes into it after. Smith Rowe, 12 months, 18 months ago, arguably he weren't levels then, or he might have been. Either way, it didn't happen. Right now, he's got his opportunity. He's took it and he's flourishing. Martinelli in bits and pieces, you know. So it's down to that. So I do think the players have to earn it and stuff, but I ain't really seen the bravery from Arteta. Even when you look at building the new spine, when I'm seeing Ben White, seeing Holding sign a new deal, obviously the young players that are around, you have to do this young player leaders of the new school, forcing a new mentality thing. But it just seemed like we betted on the old school. I know Martinez isn't young, but he could have been a new school leader. He could have, you know, got an allegiance to you. It's like, you're the first manager that's really given me an opportunity. You know, you could have come in with Saliba. And again, I'm not necessarily against Saliba going out on loan, but just to play devil's advocate, he could have went for a Saliba and said, you know what, you're now playing. I don't know what Emre and them man were doing, but now you're playing under me. Balogun, I've given you the debut. Saka this, all, you know, building. Nelson, I've thrown you a bone. Just building a new allegiances with new players, really. The same kind of goals. I know they're not young, but a Tierney, you know, he's really Pepe's second manager at Arsenal. In fact, really and truly, I know Lundberg's there. Just building a new mentality. I think he's doubled down on the old guys and they've kind of snaked him. And don't get twisted, you know, Leno's allowed to move. Xhaka's allowed to move. Bellerin's allowed to go. David Luiz is allowed to go. These men are not Arsenal fans. This is a job. You know, you don't stay at a job for no reason. It's if it's good for you, if it's the money's good, it's close to home, whatever you're seeking, you know, they're allowed to go. But none of these players should be main donnies, really. So it is what it is. But that's it. I don't want to sit here and not say Martinelli hasn't played significantly on the left wing or the right wing and the rest of them. So they need to play in it. They need to earn it, and there's dynamics, but you know, you can't give everyone, you know, you can't play everyone all of the time. But you know, if it appears to us fans that they're training and they're doing their part to get opportunities ultimately, you know, for me, especially with that back line, because it's going to be Ben White and Gabriel, or Saliba and Ben White, or Gabriel and Ben White, or whatever combination. Could be one of them. You're going to bring in a right back. I hope he's mid-20s max, you know. Tierney's not the oldest. He's mad experienced in that and kind of old man compared to some of his teammates. But that's really where I'm looking, that defense. If you bring in Onana and he's eventually allowed to play, he's only 24 and he's even arguably a baby by them terms for goalies and that. So I'm going to need to see significant progress. I want to see blueprints and DNAs and that. But generally to the end of the season, any more playing around and the writing could be on the wall. Roosters has said, opinion on cricket. Do you watch events like the Ashes Test Series and One Day International? Sorry, my dude, no. Apologies, man. From the little you know of Daniel Ek so far, would you say you can trust him, or is it more of a I just want Kroenke out? Well, bit of both. Well, I can't say I trust. I can't. You can never trust him. I don't know Donny from nowhere. I've never, you know, had a drink with the guy. I don't know his, you know, I don't know nothing about him. You know, he don't know the fact that I'm left-handed. He don't know nothing about me. So I don't know I can trust you. You know, it's you got to take that leap in it. You know, even if you're on something else, you can't be on what Kroenke's on. So I can't say I can trust you because I don't know you, and really I don't know much about you because, listen, you're a billionaire and you don't need to be known. But I'm not going to sit here and say, maybe ignorantly, obviously you can Google it, but I'm not going to sit here and say I knew who Daniel Ek specifically was. And if you said the name Daniel Ek, I could be like Bill Gates, Microsoft, and Steve Jobs with Apple. I didn't know you could just put him to Spotify. For me, it was if you know, you know thing. Since he's been linked to Arsenal, I know that. So I don't know if I could trust you. I don't know. I see every now and again, I see comments about what he's doing or not doing with streams and people getting paid on Spotify. I don't know for none of that. But I'm prepared to take a chance. But I don't know. I can't say I trust him. I don't know him from nowhere, my guy. The fake creator, shout out to you. Considering we were told earlier this year plans for the summer window were underway and that we're 2 weeks away from pre-season, how disappointed would you be if we made no movement either way when training begins? Well, we're going to bring in Ben White. So, you know, I don't, for me, it's not going to affect me. As I keep saying, it would concern me if we're not bringing in people and we're not getting rid of people according to how long we're progressing in the window. But for me, my guy, I'm prepared to shut up until the end of the window. You know, I'll shut up until the end of the window because obviously pre-season is going to start and I'm looking for Arteta to get on point from a sporting perspective. You know, the players that aren't involved in what you're doing tactically, them man do, you know, go off with the other, train with the 23s or go off with the other medical people and go do some other fitness programs. Guys that are part of this thing, you lot go off to that pitch and do what you're doing. Guys that are here for next season. Everyone else can train, keep fit, keep fit for when you move to your new club, do your thing. Obviously, the ones like Guendouzi, I want to see you in the first team. Small hopes. As much as I give it to Torreira, small hope that you'll start acting up, training with the first team. You remember this thing and stay. But something like that. obviously, it is a bit concerning because Arteta's banged on about needing pre-season, and for me, minimum, you're gonna have Ben White there. But yeah, we knew it was gonna be a mad window because of the Euros, the Copa America, and what Arsenal needed to do. So it isn't swaying me too much. It's more if we get to the end of it, man. Members, we got to practice what we preach. 92 guys, let's hold 92 likes. Come on, my guy, hit the like button if you're there. Not sure there's many billionaires you can trust, but if they put their money up, it's fair enough. I'm sure there probably is some ethical billionaires, as you say, but as you said, Kate, you can't get to them level of money there without doing a few bookie things there. So, I'm sure he's got his own skeletons in his closet. As long as he's not doing the mad thing, which we don't need to get into. As long as he's not doing our madness, he's not. You know what? You know the sort of madness you shouldn't be doing in the world, innit? It should be calm, innit? As long as what he's doing is ethically and he's not killing no one and moving mad, then, which I'm not saying Kroenke is. He's killing my hope for Arsenal, but he's not hurting no one, which that's cool. The main thing, if he's got ambition and he wants to do these things, then I'm not going to lie. Like I said, unless you're not demonizing people, doing anything mad, I don't really care what you do. As long as you're not shagging no one and you're not doing a madness, I don't really care what you're doing with your other business. Like Chelsea fans, do they really care what Roman Abramovich is doing? I'm sure they cared when England said you can't come in England, you can't come in for a sec, but they don't care what he's doing. As long as he's doing quote unquote ethical things, it's irrelevant. And it's like, obviously, the way football's gone now, like we shouldn't even be talking about this or finances and things. But yeah, man, I trust him more than who's owning this club right now. There's 103 locked in. Please make sure you hit that. Who else is this hard working on a Friday and every other day? Peter, what have you said? I want to see your Arsenal lineup and formation at this time with the players we've got. Please shout out to Peter. Good one. Well, I should really use the tactics builder and things like that. These are timestamps for earlier. People ignore them. Shout out to everyone who was in my last live stream. Off the top of my head, with players that are still here and all those sort of things, what technically still contracted? I'm gonna try not to include Xhaka because obviously he's gone. But obviously I'm gonna go with Leno in goal currently. I mean, if nothing's changed, Chambers right now is gonna be my first choice right back. If I can say Ben White is an Arsenal player, I don't know if it's going to officially happen. But if I can say Ben White, in fact, let me leave him out. Saliba you know what? Saliba would be involved, but I would actually say, if I was starting the season tomorrow, I'm going to be realistic. That's probably what I'd do. Tierney's when he gets back from Scotland duty. I'd probably say that. In midfield, season starting tomorrow, Joe Willock's got to stay in it because for me, I'm not trying to do party all day. You might as well just do him and Willock together, really, like together on a bad thing. Just do that quickly. Smith Rowe would get the nod in the 10 role for me, and then like I said, if the season's starting tomorrow, I don't know how fit Saka is, but assuming he eventually gets back from the Euros, he plays for me. Obviously, I'm still Aubameyang FC. I know our stocks are at its all-time lowest. It's coming like a crypto thing. I'm going to be one of them, man, until it happens and people say, I told you so, DG, you should have stopped. I'm going to be one of them, man. I'm going to say, you know what, last season was a blip. Aubameyang's back next season. I'm going to be one of them guys, people. I can't lie. Aubameyang, please, man, if you ever watch a DG stream, please pattern up next season, man. I don't want people to clip me up and I look like a madman. But I'm going with Aubameyang. And I'd probably put Pepe on the right, to be fair, but that would probably be it for me, man. Obviously, Saliba would be involved, at least while there's no movement, Saliba, I was about to say Joe Willock, Saliba be involved. For me, Matteo would be, like, at least before your future's confirmed, you'd be involved. Off the top of my head, probably that, Saliba would be involved, obviously, but if they're starting the season, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to go with Saliba and Gabriel. Saliba would start my season third choice. I can't lie, I bump him. It doesn't make sense, but assuming Ben White comes in, Saliba bumps up to third choice and Holding becomes my fourth. But Holding's a bit more experienced with him in this Prem thing. I want Saliba to, be a main part of pre-season, but to start the season, I'd probably go with a Holding and Gabriel. To be fair with you, against Brentford, it could be lit, but Ivan, Tony, I'm going to lean on them two a bit more for that game in particular. But yeah, the two French boys be involved. I know Lacazette's future is even speculated a lot. I'd say we need to get confirmation over bare of these futures, innit? I'm trying to sell on Nene. He's a good guy in that. And to be fair with you, if we don't do all the business in the midfield and we need a body, I don't mind running down El Nene's deal. He did only cost 5 million. As I said, I'd be trying to move him on. But if the season starts tomorrow, I can't lie, I'm going to utilize him in some way. We're down to our bare bones. You know, we can talk about Ben White and Lukonga and all these guys at this moment in time, until they're holding the Arsenal shirt, they're not really involved. You know, again, I know Xhaka's mentally gone, but if this Roma thing drags on, I wouldn't start you, to be fair with you, because your headspace would probably not be there. I'll probably start El Nene before, but I'd say that really it's peak, man. We need to make some deals happen. I can't lie. That will probably be it. Great question, Peter, man. Fantastic question. Fantastic question. So that would probably be it, man. What are you guys saying in the comments? I'm seeing you lot activate, man. Let me, before I carry on, what are you, man, saying? Sorry, I'm late. Happy Friday, people. Peter, better late than never. I know why you is late. I know why you is late. Them foreign cigarettes there. Arteta doesn't keep the squad warm. He just sticks with players or completely drops them out. That's what I'm saying. And mentally, that's not good for the team. It's not good for morale. How many times do you lot watch documentaries and there's a sideman that never plays in a team, but he's mad cool and he's mad with it? Now, clearly there's more togetherness within the side than we think. But I think sometimes you've got to play the game a bit smarter. And I think on reflection, I'm sure he would have handled the whole, not even necessarily Mesut Ozil, but we was led to believe, Mesut Ozil, Socrates, Mustafi, Kolasinac, that was a click sort of thing. That was the set. So maybe he would have approached that a bit differently and been a bit more coy. Maybe not even just him, the whole club involved, man. But you're right, man. Facts, bro. Don't think Arteta has the skills to be able to develop players by large amounts. The wickedest thing is I just think with Arteta, it's the pressures of being a manager. There's a million things going on. He's trying to look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that. I think sometimes you just have to, there's better things going on, but just cool off. Just focus on that one thing. Perfect that. That one thing, perfect that. Whatever happens, happens. I think he's just trying. I think if, because clearly when he's a coach, he can do it. When it's not a manager thing and you give someone to the side, he can do his thing. Whether it's a propaganda piece with Sterling and that or not, it's being able to do that or delegate people to do that as well. While you ain't just got to do that, you've got to somehow find that same time of attention and care, which you'll never have enough time as a manager, but you've got to find that same duty of care to a Saliba, a Gabriel, all these young developing talents. Still Saka, because for me, arguably, because Saka's rising the most, you got to work with him the most. He's your best appreciating asset. So surely that means I got to give a lot of time to you. But you can't, you can't give all of these young players. So he needs to delegate a bit better. And obviously, you've got all of this, what I'm saying. You still need to get 3 points. As much as fans think they're rational and man can say, oh, Saliba this, that young player, that. Fans are not going to care about that if you lose 3-0. If you don't get 3 points, they're not going to care. So it's about delegating. I think sometimes he's really struggled for man management, game management, and things like that. And so I do think he's got the one-to-one sort of potential thing to do it. I do think Arteta's got that. I do think he's got credentials. I just think he needs to, there's several things he needs to pattern up a bit, man. So yeah, man. Great question. Different sort of question. I know you have done a few courses for self-development. Which was the most influential and valuable to you? Talent ID level 2, I'd say, really. But fair, you know what? I'd say that because it kind of opened, it connected me with some people and it made me think of football differently. I'd say that. There was a next one. What did I do the other day, man? A few years ago, I would say first aid. First aid probably the best one, First aid, especially with what you're seeing in this thing. Like, obviously, if a mad thing happens, I can do, I can help someone in it. And it's just, I think everyone should learn. Same way I think same way you learn how to ride a bike and tie laces and that, I think you should be able to swim. And I think you should be able to, do basic CPR, put people in the position, just save someone in it. Because again, I'm no doctor person, but literally those few seconds could be saving someone's life, but changing it with, sadly, the brain's gone collapse and that, or being normal. So I think from school days, everyone, that should be taught in school, because you never know what could happen. And obviously, you don't want people getting involved, but we all know the sort of crimes, particularly in Glasgow and London, with certain objects found in a household kitchen, or better yet, kitchen utensils. And I'm not saying people should be involved because it becomes trauma, but when you see these unsavourable videos of, guys getting butchered, I'm about to swear there, guys getting butchered on the mains, and then they're just it's collapse. If certain people could help, or sometimes you see people faint, like obviously you're getting to that sort of season with the heat and that. There's people that, if concerts go ahead or whatever, people might faint. And just if 10 people see it and they're all acting scared, but out of that 10, 9 people acting shook, and that one person can do a thing, I think it should be that. So I'd say first aid. I think I'm due to do the top up bit of that, to be fair. in a few years. John has said, if you had to model / copy our tactics for next season from one team in the Euros so far, who are you picking, bro? You're not gonna hate me. I can sit and I can tell you France, and it would try to be France. I'd say Spain, you know, minus the obvious. I'd say Spain. What are you looking forward to in the future? Long-term goals, bigger and better, man. Just the man I can become, man. You know, that's it. Just challenging myself, seeing what I think I can become, and trying to just sit back one day and say, wow. So I'd say everything, really, man. I'm very funny with, you know, wow, I would love to say it all. You know, there's evil eye and things like that and stuff. So yeah, man, I like to keep cards slightly close to chest, but you get the point. How does Arteta get Aubameyang back to what he was? He won't be moved on and still will be a big part in what we do. Should Arteta change his system or help Aubameyang to adapt his game? I think Arteta needs to assume a system just because I don't see a system away from the player. I don't think he should build a system around Aubameyang for what it's worth. I'm going to sound a bit hypocritical because, like you said, he's still going to be a part of this thing. He's a player for now, isn't it? Like, if he can just score some goals now, he's not going to be here in maybe 2-3 years. So we need a system that we're developing on now, so that in 2-3 years, Aubameyang can help us, you know, top 4 and everything by God's grace, and then we can move him on, and the system will still be ahead. Because if the system lasts, then it don't really matter for the players. When you build around players, then it's always subjective. You know, one has to wonder what happens if Everton stop crossing the ball for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, or you look at Dele Alli, something happened at Spurs because he's not described as scoring goals anymore. So them things there, they only last a season and that, you know, all this sort of thing. Or Liverpool's system still works, but it's heavily reliant on the fullbacks. You know, the fullbacks stopped getting quite the same amount of assists last season and the season before. Without stats, I might look silly. Lo and behold, some of the attackers were kind of struggling for that. Not Salah, because he's moving mad, but you get the point. So I think there should just be a system that's built around more so who's going to be here in the long term. Please get Isaac. Obviously, let's try work with Martinelli and Balogun and the rest of them young ones and who else can be brought in. But at the same time, with that, and if Aubameyang's here for now, you might as well play to his strengths when he's playing, you know, service. We all know it's been nothing short of a miracle to hit historically Aubameyang scoring these goals at this club, because he's not really, no chances are created. We need to create chances for, I'm going to do a video on it as well. We need to create chances for the sake of chances, because, you know, we're 9th for scoring, that we're underperforming. You know, our top assist man has 5 assist people, and more time, that's Willian and Smith Rowe. And you know, William was atrocious this season. Smith Rowe's been a bit of a part-timer for this season through no fault of his own. He just wasn't given a chance earlier. There's something going wrong with the coaching there. Whatever you say about the players, you know, whatever you say about Emre, we never sat here and said this about Aubameyang. Whatever you say about Arsene Wenger, we never sat here and said this about Aubameyang. You know, last season, we never said this about Aubameyang when he was doing the FA Cup things. So what has happened between that and this season? What has happened? You create some chances, because Aubameyang needs to fix up, but more time, we're barely creating. Nothing's creating. We know Aubameyang's a service-reliant striker. We know he's not built his career off creating goals like that. He's a good player. He's better technically than man giving credit for, but he's a guy you cook the meal for him and you serve it in front of him. You know, you create chances in abundance. Not only him, but more people score, because you say him. It's been an up and down season for Aubameyang, and he's only a couple of lacquer in the league, but it's been an up and down season for him, for Lacquer, for Pepe, for Willian, for all these young players and every player here. Because no one, apart from Saka, no one's been there consistently. You know, you go back far, people were saying, why is Lacazette trying to play like a defensive mid? Sell him. Now everyone and their nan wants to keep him. Such is life. So I'd say don't build it around him, but when you're using him, double down on him, innit? You know, you've got Martinelli and Saka. I still think you should play to their strengths, but you can do that little short-term thing with long-term in mind. You can get away with it because they got years in the legs. And from a financial aspect, well, you've given Aubameyang a big deal. You've made him captain. Like, what are we here for? Like, make him that, innit? So that we can pattern the team. Eventually, we can pass the mantelpiece. Like in the ideal world, you know, you do that, but then you know, this season you kind of fizzle out Aubameyang. You try and make him what Lacazette was, that super sub, assuming he don't get back to goal scoring. Admittedly, I don't want to see Aubameyang on the wing too many times next season. Obviously, I'll say that there'll probably be other lineups. So I'm saying Aubameyang on the left, Lacazette through the middle. Score predictions for England versus Germany. Boy, we're gonna do it, man. 2-1 England, man. Mason Mount with a winner. 90th minute thing. Boy, I don't know. Claudius has said, best Arsenal goal / moment you've witnessed in the flesh, home and away. Away beating Spurs, you know, when Rosicky did the mad thing. Did we win that? I'm sure we did. When Rosicky scored a peach of a goal, I'd say that. One time we won the North London derby as well, and I was working for Spurs, and I told you I got that. They reported me and my friends because I don't know why Spurs, but Spurs used to employ hella people from ends. Half of us are Arsenal fans. It's Arsenal Spurs. We're not going to work, are we? We're cheering it on, and we got reported by the people, the box seats. Them, and they are probably paying 10 bags and up a season for that, which made it all the more sweeter. Because they clearly got money to waste. They're paying money to watch that at Spurs, but fair play. So I'd say that that would be for away. What else? Does Wembley count as away? Because I just think every moment in that FA Cup game against Aston Villa, when we battered them in the finals, it would be classed as away. Best Arsenal moment with the flesh. Obviously, MV Thierry Henry I've ever seen in my life that we've spoken about. Alexis Sanchez, when he scored, when we turned up against Liverpool, when we battered them at home one time, Alexis scored a mad goal. I think Ozil scored a free kick that game as well. Maybe even Bellerin did a Mazzolini. Anytime I watch Mesut Ozil, anytime I watched Alexis Sanchez, anytime I watched Santi Cazorla, anytime I watched Arshavin at home, when we patterned the FA Cup as well. Yeah, man, you put me on the spot here, but I've talked about this before, bare times, man. Good question, though, man. Good question. I'd say one off a different sort of one. Alexis Sanchez against QPR on Boxing Day a few years ago. Like, that game was going terrible for us. Creating chances, not scoring. We got a pen, he missed. I think Giroud, Nathan Manua did something, and Giroud moved to him and he got a red card. And then after all of that, these are the times Alexis Sanchez was our hero, innit? Like, we was going Emirates every day and every week, and Alexis is doing a madness. He scored a header. So I'd say that's a low-key moment for Ivory Dorman. This is more of a video idea. Best academy player from 05-15 and where are they now? That's a mad. We'll look into it, but that's a mad one still. Assuming this 200, Danny has said, shout out to Danny, assuming this 250 million war chest exists, what would be your appointments if you were the boss man? In an ideal scenario, what would be your dream lineup going into next season? Psh. Boy, you lot love a transfer one. Danny, you're putting me on the spot. It's very difficult. How far is 250 going to go in real terms, though, man? And it's how are you going to pattern up all these areas? I'd say, you know what? Firstly, I'm trying to buy Sarr from Mets. I'm inquiring about Kakare. I'm inquiring about Awa. I'm seeing what can be done there. This what Lokonga and them guys, they're coming in, but it's nothing to do with me. Yeah, cool. It's nothing to do with this piece. Ideal scenario, man. If I could do what I want, you know what? Left back would be Tierney. In goal, I just give it Onana because I can't bother to think of a goalie right now. Gabriel and Paul Torres. I don't care for two left footers. Paul Torres would be at this club, or Jules Okonde and that. Right back, probably just go for a little Max Aarons or something quickly. Just get it done with Norwich. Midfield, Thomas Partey. Well, they're saying Aouar for 30 million euros. So Aouar / Kakare, one of them is leaving Lyon and coming to Arsenal. So one of them, 10 would still be Smith Rowe. But then I'd probably try to throw the bag at Maddison or do a Mazzolini like that. But I'd be looking into bringing Sarr, Aouar, Kakare, Paul Torres. I might try live a movie and chat to Napoli about Fabian Ruiz and see what could be done there, man. I'm seeing a couple comments. Let me see what you lot are saying. He changed centre-back pairing too often last season. I hope he's learned from that fact. Basics, man. You need some continuity. Like, they need to build up relationships. You need the right back to get one on par with the right winger. You need the same on the left-hand side. You need the same with the two midfielders. Then how the midfielder works with the 10 if we're going to keep a 10. How the centre-halves work with each other. How they tie into the defense, how the keeper becomes part of the whole defensive unit, playing out from the back end defensively. How the midfield ties into that. You're only going to get that if it's going to stay on that level, man. But I don't know, man. Even if Eto'o's over, is he prepared to push the club forward with real financial backing? It's not just about owning Arsenal. Exactly. So that will go beyond the words. That will go beyond the words. Again, Arsenal at the moment would probably be a loser's game because you'd have to pay a lot of money and then, we'd buy all these players. They need to settle, We still need to change a lot. So that's what I mean. We wouldn't see too much from it at that moment in time. But the wheels would be in motion. So it goes deeper than that. You're fully right, man. You think it would help Arteta just being a coach instead of an actual manager? Well, maybe. Well, based on what we're seeing, probably because he's struggling at the moment. But he wanted to take this leap into management, innit? So make of that what you will, man. Make sure you've hit the like button as well. Shout out Matt, man, because you're always saying positive things and you're consistent with your support. I appreciate that. There's still a lot of time in this window. However, pre-season's training starts in 14 days. With such a large squad overhaul incoming, will Arteta have enough time with new players? Again, like I said, but he's never going to have enough time because, you're not going to get to work with Tierney for the same amount with the other players because Tierney needs I don't know if he's going to get 2 weeks off or what Wenger used to do with players that were played in international tournaments. Whether Leno stays or goes, you're not going to work with him in any capacity. Now, Tierney's going to come back before Leno because One Nation's still in the tournament, but you get the point. Germany probably gonna deal with us, and Saka will be coming back, but you're not gonna get ample time with them. Obviously, couple man say no break, they go straight into it, so you're not gonna have that amount of time. It looks like with Lokonga and maybe Ben White. Well, Ben White again, another one at England. Lokonga, you might, he's on the standby list, so if something happens in the Belgium side, he might just get called up. But you'll have time with them, but you're not gonna have a perfect preseason. Couple man are in the Olympics and that. You're not going to have the perfect time to implement everything. It's just, for me, it's just about setting the wheels in motion. And what he wants to do in preseason, he needs to have known last summer what he wanted to do. It shouldn't change too much, If you didn't get to do something 1 year and that's what you wanted to do, surely you're going to remember what you wanted to do, right? So he's never going to have enough time. It's a myth. There's not going to be this ideal preseason. And remember, we're traveling, couple guys that might be part of his plan. Offers might come. They might say they want to go. Things happen, innit? So he's not going to have a perfect preseason. We're traveling. We're going to America. We're doing a couple other things. It's not going to be it. It's not going to be. It's a fallacy. So he's just got to ensure 60 to 70% of the squad are on the page at that moment in time, and everyone else has to hit the ground running, sort of thing. So it is what it is. Your expectations for this coming season in terms of realistic success, boy, I expect, I'm an Arsenal fan, so I'm always going to advocate the FA Cup. I would love to push for the FA Cup. The League Cup is the League Cup, but they're cup competition, so go as far as you can. Obviously, you need to achieve European football in the league. I don't care how you do it. Top 4 is what we want. Whether it's realistic is another thing. I'm always going to think top 4 is realistic. I'm always going to say top 4. So I'll go with that. But I'd say you got to come home with Europe, innit? No excuses. If you have another season like 8th, you might not see that season out. What really happened at Edmonton All-Stars in detail, please? Well, Edmonton All-Stars is a team I played for as a child. So, yeah, they're still about, but we just stopped playing for them. There ain't no details. If you could restart life and had the choice, would you still grow up on 4th Street or would you pick somewhere like Kensington and Kent? Has to be in the UK, be realistic. I mean, I don't think it will. Wouldn't change anything for the world. I wouldn't be myself, man. I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you lot. So no, man, it is what it is. I wouldn't change a thing, man. Everything happens for a reason. If you find that reason out, it's another thing, but I don't know. Hit the like button, people. Essa said, why did Wenger let go of his blueprint and adopt the Barcelona way? I don't know why he wanted more technical footballers, but I don't think he ever went away. Yeah, he had powerful players, but people we don't give the Invincibles enough credit. They used to bop it. It just looks a bit better because these guys are smaller and more techie and things like that. But I don't know, man. I really don't know. Really don't. Again, there's many reasons we could speculate about, and I don't want to insult your intelligence by doing such, but I wouldn't say I know specifically why, to be honest with you. A lot of people probably look at, Cesc came in and things changed and he didn't work with Vieira and this and that. I don't know, man. I really don't know. See what the reply said. Maybe there's something here. Oh, shout out Peter, man. Shout out to Peter. So yeah, that's them questions. Why is it not? Oh, what happened there? I scrolled out. Sorry, people. That's them questions, but there was some more that I asked via the community tab. Hey, if you're subscribed or you're a supporter of my talent, people, the YouTube community tab could be your best friend if you let it be. So that I'm just letting you lot know, man. YouTube, when in doubt, check my YouTube community tab. When you think YouTube's done you dirty, it will never lie to you. What's going on here? It's jarring, man. Sorry, people. I don't know why it's not letting me bring up the new one. Where's my phone? Sorry, I'm gonna have to read it out now, people, because it's not. I don't know. Everything's going wrong right now. It's not letting me scroll down because I asked you lot. the same question again, because obviously I asked you lot 4 days ago. I didn't want no one to get left out, so I asked you lot again. But it's not letting me go down to the one that was 4 days ago. So yeah, man, it is what it is. But yeah, let's start with a couple other questions. Stylish is, oh no, that's ask for suggestions as well. Matt said, what are your plans for your channel going forward? More vlogs, interviews? Well, same old, man. You know me, I love, I'll always try and push. I couldn't really give you an answer, as many videos as I can in terms of, you know me, I love youth talent, so you're never going to not hear youth talent. I love to talk about neutral content, so a lot of neutral talking points. I'm an Arsenal fan, so hella Arsenal stuff. Talking about the game tactically and tactical reviews and that, and yeah, more of the same. And what else could come? Football Manager content soon come. I keep selling you lot dreams. Make sure you're following on Twitch, Deludiguno187. So yeah, man. Kay said, I'm assuming you already had this in mind, but I was wanting to see like a season review or squad review. I done that, my guy. Admittedly, I don't know where it is, but we done that time ago, my guy. Time ago. Beyonce, I did do a Euros group stages breakdown. We did the live stream about that yesterday. Steve has said, top 10 favorite non-Arsenal players. What, in the game right now or in general? I don't want to keep saying in general because I keep giving you like the same answer. So right now, non-Arsenal, yeah. Neymar. In the current day, sorry, hey, that was my phone dropped with that. I would say what? Neymar. I need to write it down. It's easier, people, man. Sorry, let me share this good old Google Doc sheet with you. Let me just write it down, man. So more of a writing down sort of guy, thoughts written down sort of guy. So what? Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, CR7, Ozil. Fatty, Pogba, Greenwood, Foden, Grealish, Kane. Good question, man. I could sit here all day, man. There'll be bears still. Di Maria, Gnabry, Musiala, Bellingham. What's my man's name? Musa, Musiala. I already said that. Bear guys. Gnabry, if I haven't said that, now I have. Di Maria said that. Kimmich. Yeah, man. Mount. I like Mount still. James. Firmino, he's dirty when just the way he plays ball. Mane, Salah, gotta have KDB. There's bare man. Just everyone doing dirt right now, really. Just everyone like the guys who make you want to watch football, man, that are not really robots and stuff, man. Just people who are ballers, man. There's bare guys, man. Shout out to Nana, man. Shout out to Nana. Welcome. Come on. So yeah, I don't know. Shout out to you, Nana, but Lukaku. Favorite at the moment. Shout out to him. It's a one love thing, but I'm not sure. Not favorite. Wes Morgan, Sterling. Shout out to them. You got a Bobby Reed. You got to force the agendas. Leon Bailey. We've got agendas. Sane. You know what? I would have said Torreira 3, 4, 5 months ago, but there's just been too much chatting in the media. There's bare guys, man. That's a great question. We could be there all day. That's a great question, man. Ozil's one of the most technically gifted I've ever seen in the Premier. He was ridiculous on his day, and it's sad. Like, obviously, there was many days he could have done better, but he was mad. Santi as well. Santi. One of my first videos was talking about Santi Cazorla because I didn't feel he got enough praise. Like there was many games he put on a clinic. Like Santi, Alexis as well. Like Alexis is passing and movement. Listen, he was a showman, but he was on a them three, Ozil, Santi, and Alexis. Individually, they're on the next level. Together, they're on the next level. Like, couple players just, I like to watch ballers, innit? I don't quite think he was to them man's level, but Rosicky was a baller, Wilshere's a baller, you know. DB10 was a baller. Like, there was like guys, I used to like guys who can play ball, man. Guys that if you remove certain physical attributes, like if you send them, you know, they're 35, 40, 50, they're playing masters football, can they still do it? You can't do it with them running my merchants, you know, it's dead. So yeah, man, we should at least have 100 likes. You lot doing me dirty if we're not on 100 likes. That's disgusting, people. 118. I knew you lot would never let me down. I appreciate that. But there's like 170. So I know a lot of you are being lazy. I know it's Friday, but come on now. Okay. Nah, bro, nah. It's a shout out thing. All right, Awa, Cherky, Gravenbeck. Throw them all into the previous question as well. Yeah, man. Sam Greenwood is technically at Leeds now. So Sam Greenwood, bear them. Osman Dembele, if I haven't said it, you know, he always gets robbed because of injuries. I actually like Bruno Fernandes, you know. I know sometimes it's not pretty to watch, but I actually like Bruno Fernandes. Martial on his day. Havertz. Actually, I don't know. I like Rudiger. Hey, how can I forget N'Golo Kante? Come on now, man. Good. See what I mean about them questions when you start thinking about stuff. But next question, we've seen Live from Planet X said, who would win out of the best European 11 versus the best South American and African 11? Best African 11. Oh, I don't know. That would be tasty. I think South America would win still. I mean, I don't know. Let's do 11. Let's try make an 11 of that. That sounds 30. Shout out to Rashford because he feeds the kids and whatnot. So yeah, he is one of my favorite footballers, man. He's actually trying to use his Tyrell Mings by that same trail of thought as well. South American 11. Let me call this SA 11. Well, I'll go with Martinez in goal. Who'd be right back for South America though? It's a techie one. Do you know what? I don't even have to do this. I actually think, yeah, Europe would win, man. But then again, you got what? Messi, Neymar for South America. You could put Fabinho in the midfield, just patterning things up. You got Di Maria, you could throw him in there. Suarez could be thrown in. But then European, you could cheat. Just make the whole defense is Italian. Like what? European, you could actually put what's his face in goal. What's his name, man? What's the one that's at thingy, man? Atletico. Oblak, technically, you could throw Oblak in goal. You could put Chiellini left centre half, and you could probably put, you know, someone else who's good. Europe would win. I can't let Europe would have too much. South America's attack would probably score some goals, but I think they'll just have too much. Kaya said, what are 3 things Arteta can do to improve Arsenal, excluding transfers? Less road. I don't want to say less rotation because it's necessary, but like I'd say stop overcomplicating things at times. Football. I always tell you, lot in football, 2 + 2 should equal. 2 + 2 don't equal 4 because football's complex. But same way, it's a simple game. Sometimes it needs to equal 4, not a million. And I think sometimes we're trying to reinvent the wheel. There's plenty of examples. So sometimes stop overcomplicating things. I would say have a bit more of a DNA and be true to yourself, because I think that's where our team struggle, because we're almost playing like we're going to be the underdogs for 38 Premier League games. That's not going to be a thing. I'd say be a bit more of a people's person, read people a bit more, be a bit fairer to players because it don't look like that to fans. But I would say have a bit more clarity over tactics, because if we're confused as fans, the players therefore have to be confused about it. So yeah, it is what it is in that regards, man. Jay said, big up DG. Who do you think will be left with out of the list of Bellerin, Saliba, Mavropanos, Torreira, Guendouzi, Xhaka, El Nene, Willian, Maitland-Niles, Willock, Nelson, and Ketia and Laka? Now, as you know, my dude, it's a bit subjective because couple people's futures are probably dependent. Couple play, like, you look at Joe Willock, you look at El Nene, they're probably in the halfway house. They could go, but certain man need to come in. Can we bring people in without getting people out? It's one of them we probably need to see. So Torreira's probably gone. Mavropanos is gone. Guendouzi probably is gone. Xhaka's probably gone. Willian hopefully is gone. Realistically, Nketiah probably gone. Something has to be said over Maitland-Niles. So I'd say them. I'd say El Nene might stay. If Xhaka going, if I haven't said him, El Nene could stay. Willock could stay. Nelson probably gone. I would say Bellerin gone, but again, it comes down to our people putting the money down for Bellerin, and right now it's not happening in it. So I can say probably gone, but probably, pardon me, I really don't know. It's one of them. He's in the halfway house sort of thing. H just said, would you change our formation next season? If so, how? 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, that's it, man. And you said, will Arteta have probation this season? Could he be gone by Christmas? Bro, if we're doing what we're doing last season, someone's got to pay for it, innit? So ultimately, it's going to fall on the head of Arteta. He knows this, whether it's right or wrong. Is what it is. Kay said, ones to watch out for next season, potential first-team players for Arsenal. It's difficult, man. It's difficult right now, very early to see. I need to see how everybody's shaping up. It's difficult right now, man. It's a transitional year, very transitional year, man. But I hope it's one to remember for Martinelli in particular. Smith Rowe the same. I'd love to see, obviously, Balogun and Tyrese, John Jules be able to do their thing and get more of a look in and things like that. I actually think that's all the questions I've actually been asked, people. So, yeah, man, you lot have been doing bits at that moment. So, yeah, we got one more in the comments. Does financial fair play matter anymore with City and for Kane and Grealish, who cost over 200 million? Beyonce, you're a smart person. You don't even need to ask me this. It hasn't mattered for a very long time, and it's not going to matter. And, you know, you either get with the program or you do what Arsenal do and complain. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's ethical. I'm saying that's what the program is looking like, broski. So I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. And to be fair, you know, City have probably reined in the purse strings a tiny bit at times. So they're probably willing to let go. And, you know, I can't really blame them in Chelsea. They get it with the program, because people could probably look at Arsenal and say, we complain about financial fair play. Look at the amount of mismanagement in terms of transfers we've got. So potentially we could need to probably stop looking at it as woe is us, because them lot could spend more, and look at what the nonsense we're doing. And in the Premier League in general, there's nonsense going on. You know, is what it is. Everyone's hiding their transfer budgets in fear of inflated fees for players thereafter. It's going to explode near the end as usual. Big up DG every time. I appreciate you guys, man. Any more questions? I'll give you a few secs. Any if there's not, then yeah, man. That's the Q&A. It was fantastic. 52 minutes, man. It's flying by. But I mean, if there's no questions, then I'm gonna wrap it up, innit? And obviously tomorrow, people, it's back on Euros business. So again, while I've made an error and I've not set it up, set a mental reminder. You know, it's kickoff at 5:30 in the first game, so I'll probably be online at 4:30. The same trail or thought goes with the game at 8, so I'll be online at 7:30. If you're not going to remember that, remember the community tab is going to be your best friend if reminders and those sort of things are not. Just look at my YouTube community tab. I typically post my videos there. That will be your best friend. Make sure you've hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed on Twitch, Deludaguna187. I'll see you all later then, people. It's been a fantastic, it's been a fantastic 52 coming up to 53 minutes, man. I appreciate the members. I appreciate the subscribers, the mods, the Twitch gang, everyone that's doing what they can to help this thing move forward. And once again, I'm very thankful of you lot for pushing this thing to 37,000 subscribers, man. 37,000 subscribers. Nana put me off because as I saw with his comment, thank you very much, man. You lot stay care, man. You lot take care and stay safe. I'll definitely enjoy my evening. I can't lie, I'm going to play Football Manager now, man, for a second, man, for a little hour. Give myself a little Football Manager, you know. I think I got Norwich away, and I need to see if Kylian Mbappe's fit, because I think it's one of them. I can give him the injection where he can play, or he can be out for 4 weeks. So I'm probably going to rest him. If I rest him, he's not going to be able to play against PSG in the Champions League. So it's a bad one. But yeah, man, shout out to everyone. Shout out to all the members that have been here. Shout out to the new ones. Shout out to the old ones. You know, like I said, make sure you're checking out your DG merchandise and things like that. It's been pinned in the live message. Make sure you've hit the subscribe button. But again, make sure on top of everything, you stay safe, man. Colors for your merch are real nice, DJ. I appreciate that, man. I'd love to see what sort of product you buy, man. So yeah, shout me, man. On that note, I'm out though.